So today I want us to learn this third step in the homework, which is really just making sure we're all familiar with creating a CSS rule. And so this is what we're going to do. We're going to make we're going to insert our animated GIF, create a headline rule and a rule for our paragraph text. Sounds good. Let's do it. So I'm going to go into Dreamweaver and say File, New. And this should look familiar, HTML, and just like the homework assignment says, it says one column liquid, centered, header, and footer. Going to change that to be HTML5, and let's say create. Here we go. This is our familiar layout. I'm going to select this. I'm going to go down to the bottom, Shift key here. It selects all those things in between, and I just hit delete. And now let's type in some text here. Animated, whoops. GIF. Some people call it GIF, some people call it GIF. It's fine either way. And then I'm going to go over and grab some text I have in the text document and throw that in here. You should have your own text that's just something that describes your animated GIF. While we're at it, let's make our footer here something like this. Option G makes a copyright symbol, and then you want to put the year, and then you say your name. Okay, and what I want to do now is I want to save this. Do you see how it says untitled? If we call this, this is where you title the document. You can also do it in code view like we did before, and let's just call this something like animated GIF. This is one of those areas where you don't need to have an underscore in between here. That's fine. Okay, but let's save that and let's call it index. And the important thing is I want this to be where my animated GIF is. So you should do this wherever your animated GIF is where you should be saving it. Yours is going to be different from mine. Okay, so index.html. Make sure it's in the same one here. This is the animated GIF that I'm going to be using. It's called, I think, Queen's Wave. Right up there, small, that's it. Okay, so I want that to be there. I'm going to replace I already had another one in there. Okay, so now we're saved here as index.html. Let's add that GIF. I'm going to go under the Insert tab, and it's an image. So that's the one little trick, is that you don't bring it in like a video or anything. It's actually an image. So we'll say yes to that, and then you just navigate in that folder where you want it to go, and let's just say this is the one. Open. This is where you'd put in your, if you want to make your thing more searchable, it's good to have your images named. I'll call it Queen's Wave. Okay. Okay, there it is. Now, what I want us to do is to style this text. Let's start with the H1 tag. If you select that, what you'll see is, let's go over to split view. I want you to see that when I say H1, it just means heading, and it's a heading tag. And so you can see this is how HTML is written, the opening tag and that /, and then the same closing tag, H1. These are called angle brackets, by the way. Let's make a rule here with CSS. Now, I have this designer view, and if you have designer view, it'll look like this. Here's the cascading style sheets, styles, and we're going to make a new rule here. And because that's a tag, I can just choose tag here, and a tag is an HTML tag, H1 in this case, and I'm going to go to my H1. Okay, and it says this selector will only apply this rule to the H1 tags, and we'll say OK. And this is where we're basically creating a rule that says every H1 tag, every heading, is going to have this certain combination of font choice, and you could do this one, and the color, and all these kind of different elements, all of what the style. CSS equals style, okay? And I want you to just see that, look, I have ones that you're not going to have. I'm going to show you how to add fonts to your um, computer and how to use web fonts. This is one called Lobster. Who doesn't love Lobster? Okay, and let's make it a particular color. I don't know, something like that. Okay, I'm going to hit apply and then say okay. And here, sure enough, this is the Lobster font with that color. Okay, let's make a new rule with the paragraph text. Okay, so you can see here, this will, if you select something, it tells you down here where, kind of what is containing that, where does that kind of belong. It's a paragraph tag within this container div. And if you lose your panel, you can also bring it back here from the properties panel. And I'm going to say new CSS rule, and we know this is a paragraph tag, so let's just make it a tag. I'll go over what these other two are on Tuesday. And here it is, P. If yours doesn't have the P tag in there, you can just choose it from there. Okay, say okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to choose a font. A lot of people hate this font, Comic Sans, just as a little side note. I'm going to choose something that looks different from the other one, and I'm going to make it a different color just so we can see the difference between them. Okay, that's bad, but it's good because we get to see it. And so let's just go over to Design View. And what I also want you to see is if your heading text is not a paragraph text, choose paragraph here, and so you should see your header, pardon me, your footer text here should be styled the same as this. Let's make this, instead of white, a different color. I'm going to look for this rule. If I click in here, this is a div called content. So now you know you can just kind of go over to CSS styles. I'm going to look for the div. Here are the ones that we just made, FYI. There they are. I'm going to look for the one that says content here, and container. That's what it said. Container right there. So yeah, I know if I'm in here and I want to change that, I'm going to look for the container rule. And so what I want you to see is that instead, in addition to making new rules, we can edit the existing ones. And so let's choose something that's maybe too dark. Okay, so that makes the text stand out a little bit. Okay, and there's one more thing that I wanted to do. Always here, when you make a change like that, you'll see how up here, let's add a logo in here. I'm going to right click this, and you can say source file, and I'm going to just add in the image that we were using. It's a ping file, and what you can see is that's got it's transparent on the edges and in the center, so it takes whatever color is behind here. And if you want to quickly look and see, okay, what is this color here? Let's take a look and look for that header. This is the CSS. Okay, the header background color is that hexadecimal. I'm just going to swipe in there, go Command C, and then click this guy and say I want the background color there to be the same. Command V. I'm going to just save that, and I want you to just see that now when we go live here. This is all the same color, and it's like the logo is, this is a way to like break out of the box so everything doesn't seem so boxy. We'll do this on Tuesday, make a ping file that's got a transparency so you can see in these areas it's showing through. Okay, that's it for today. I think I got everything. That's all I want you to do. Send both your your new animated GIF plus your styled CSS with a heading 1 tag, a paragraph tag, and you're done.